Game number 3 at Philadelphia, where the Celtics will look to grab their first win of the 2017-18 season. Welcome into the Celtics pregame report with Josue Pavone. Mike Petraglia, a.k.a. Trags, is on tap to preview this division matchup between the Celtics and 76ers. What's up, Trag? How are we doing today?
I'm doing well, Josue. Yourself?
I'm hanging in there, seeing how this team's going to bounce back from a very, very difficult week. But we'll see what happens tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, Josue. I think that an early test for this team, both on the court and off the court, could make this team stronger in the long run. I wrote that on the Celtics blog, and I really do believe that they're going to have some rough seas ahead. There's no question about that. But if they stick together as a group, both on and off the court, work hard in practice, and keep the mentality in the back of their mind that it's all going to work out, we are going to become a better team as the season goes on, I think they'll be fine.
Well, yeah, clearly the Celtics are having a devastating week. I mean, losing Gordon Hayward completely changes the complexity of the regular season. But how do the Celtics make up for that production? What will it take for the C's to grab their first win of the season tonight?
Well, I think what it's really going to come down to, Josue, is not one player trying to do too much. I thought we may have seen a little bit of that with Kyrie Irving in the fourth quarter on Wednesday night against Milwaukee. He goes 2 of 10, finishes 7 of 25 from the field, and it looked like he had the weight of the entire team on his shoulder. To answer your question, I think the best way to make up for the loss of Gordon Hayward is going to be other players stepping their game up, namely Al Horford helping out Kyrie, setting some screen and rolls, some pick and pops, stuff that he did with Isaiah Thomas. Granted, he's not nearly at the level with Kyrie Irving yet that he was with Isaiah Thomas late in the season last year, but I think other players are going to have to really get involved in the offense and present their options pretty early in games so that Kyrie doesn't feel like he has to pick up the load entirely himself.
Trags, how good is this Philadelphia team? I mean, the past couple of seasons, the anticipation of this young core that's, of course, loaded with all-star potential, trying to break through this year in what is going to be, of course, a weaker Eastern Conference. Is this a playoff team that the Celtics are going to face tonight, or do these kids still have a lot of growing up to do?
It's a borderline playoff team. I think Ben Simmons is a transformative player. He's a younger LeBron. I mean, that's really what he is, same kind of body type. He plays the game the same way. He sees the court the same way that LeBron does. And just like LeBron, does not have a very good, reliable, dependable, I should say, jumper and perimeter game at the start of his career. But all of that being said, he is a 6'8" beast, and he can do things on the court that the Sixers haven't had in decades. And he is the kind of player that I think can really help get the Sixers rolling in the right direction on offense. I think that certainly when you look at Joel Embiid, they're monitoring his minutes very closely to start the season. But if Embiid and Ben Simmons stay on the court together, that's a tough matchup for a team like the Celtics with no Gordon Hayward. And it's going to dictate some mismatches, I think, early in this game. And it'll be interesting to see how much both Embiid and Simmons play together. Notice, Josue, I haven't been talking that much about Markelle Fultz yet because I don't think Brett Brown is comfortable throwing, Fultz completely into the mix yet with Embiid and Simmons. Granted, Fultz had 10 points against the Wizards in their opening night loss on Wednesday night, and he did not look terrible. He had his moments where he was able to dribble, penetrate, which is going to be the strength of his game, create a shot that way. But I think somebody like, obviously, J.J. Redick, who they went out and spent $23 million on, he's going to be a big factor for the Sixers. He's going to be dangerous. Saric is definitely going to be dangerous. I thought Saric was one of the underplayed stories late in the year last year for the Sixers as they were finishing out the season. I thought he really presented himself as a terrific offensive scoring option for the Sixers. And if he is comfortable for the Sixers early in this year, I think they're going to have some momentum and some confidence that people might be surprised by.
Yeah, it certainly looks like Markelle Fultz has plenty of grooming to do. I mean, he is still coming off the bench for this 76ers team, and it looks like he's still a bit raw in trying to find himself on this young squad.
I don't think there's any question about that. I think they anticipated that. The Sixers are convinced that Markelle Fultz is going to turn into a franchise point guard. Obviously, they wouldn't have spent the draft pick that they traded away to the Celtics and jumping up to number 1 to take him unless they didn't think that he was their guy, their point guard of the future to complement Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid.
This edition of the Celtics pregame report is being sponsored by Greats, the makers of all-time greats, classic, stylish, and comfortable sneakers, and they're sold at a great price. Go to greats.com, that's GREATS.com, and make sure you use the promo code TRAGS to save 15% at checkout. That's TRAGS, T-R-A-G-S. Enter the promo code and get yourself 15% off at checkout. Trags. Jaylen Brown has looked really good out of the gate. Almost too good. He's been a tremendous offensive weapon for the Celtics team. And as much as we'd love to see this out of him, how much can we expect out of Brown this season? Can he turn into a legitimate third offensive option now that this team has to go on without Gordon Hayward in the lineup?
2 words, Josue. Shot selection. If his shot selection is consistent and good throughout the early part of this season, yes, he can become, I would say, a third or fourth scoring option behind Kyrie, behind Al Horford. I think he's going to have to be. I mean, it's not a matter of whether they want him to be. He's going to have to be. But how he gets to that level is really the key question, and it's going to be about shot selection. Remember, he was 2 for 9 from three-point territory in the opener on Tuesday night in Cleveland. Then on Wednesday night, he was 2 for 3 from three-point range. He cut his shot selection beyond the arc way down, and he was 6 for 13 from the field. He was a much more efficient scorer, and I think Jaylen Brown's going to have to do a lot of his damage in the paint, and I also think if he is committed to, within 10 feet of the basket, he's going to get himself a lot more easy looks and build the confidence on the offensive part of the game. To me, Josue, with Jaylen Brown, it's about building his confidence. I mean, I know the guy has loads of confidence and attitude to begin with, especially on the defensive side, but if he's going to make that next step, take that next, level, go to that next level, I should say, it's going to have to build in confidence, and I think the best way to do that is in and around the basket.
Who wins tonight, Dregs?
I like the Celtics to get their first win. They know how Philadelphia wants to play them, and I think if there's any coach capable of scheming around what the Sixers want to do to them, it's Brad Stevens. I like the Celtics to win pretty much the way that they won in Philly in the preseason. I like a 110-102 score.
All right, he is Mike Petraglia of CLNS Media, also writer for Celtics blog contributor. You can check him out as my co-host on the Garden Report on CLNS Media's YouTube channel. Trag also covers the Patriots and is an awesome follow on Twitter for up-to-date coverage, game days for the Patriots, and, of course, for your Boston Celtics. Follow him on Twitter at Trags. That's Trags. And Trags, of course, I appreciate you for coming on the show, man. We'll catch up soon, all right? Thanks for hanging out.
You got it. Thanks, Josue.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Celtics pregame report. Special thanks to Trags, of course, for stopping by, and to everyone who tuned in to yet another pregame report. Make sure you check out the Celtics postgame show on the clnsmedia.com website. You can call in toll-free at 347-215-7771 after the game to get on the air. Or, just like this show, you can listen to it on demand on the CLNS Media mobile app. Weekday shows air on the Celtics Newsfeed channel on iTunes, Stitcher, and the CLNS Media mobile app. For today's Boston Celtics pregame report with Josue Pavone, this is Josue Pavone signing off.